If you saw Emily walking down the hallway of Ridgewood High, you probably wouldn't notice her. She was the type of girl who blended into the background, soft brown eyes hidden behind her hair, a quiet smile, books always tucked under her arm. She spoke only when spoken to, and even then, her voice was barely above a whisper. But what happened on a cold Tuesday afternoon would make sure everyone noticed her, and it would turn the entire school upside down in less than 24 hours. It started in fourth period math class. Emily was sitting at the back, sketching absent-mindedly in the margins of her notebook while pretending to follow the lesson. She didn't realize three girls in the row behind her were whispering and giggling, their eyes locked on her long, dark hair that flowed halfway down her back. These girls, Kayla, Brianna, and Sasha, were the kind of bullies who didn't throw punches. They used embarrassment as their weapon. And today, they had a cruel idea. When the teacher stepped out to take a phone call, Kayla whispered, "Watch this." She slid out a pair of scissors from her pencil pouch. Emily didn't notice until she felt a sudden snip. A heavy lock of hair slid down her shoulder and onto the desk. She froze. Her heart pounded in her chest. She reached back with trembling fingers. The once silky curtain was now jagged and uneven. Laughter erupted behind her. "Oh my God, look at it! It's ruined!" Brianna shouted. The whole class turned. Phones came out. Snapchats, TikToks, whispers, all swirling around Emily's head like a storm she couldn't escape. The teacher returned moments later, confused and frustrated, but the damage was done. The bullies got away with just a warning. Emily sat there, staring at her desk, refusing to cry until she was home. That evening, Emily locked herself in the bathroom, staring into the mirror. Her hair was a mess, but it wasn't just the cut that hurt, it was the humiliation. She thought about skipping school for the rest of the week. But then her phone buzzed. It was her older cousin Mia, a college student and semi-pro hairstylist. When Emily told her what happened, Mia's voice was firm. "They think they broke you. Let's show them they didn't." The next morning, Emily walked into school, but she didn't have her head down this time. Her hair was gone, replaced by a sleek, stylish pixie cut that perfectly framed her face. Her makeup was light but sharp, her posture confident. She looked like an entirely different person. People turned their heads as she walked past. Even the bullies stared, wide-eyed. By lunchtime, whispers filled the cafeteria, not of pity, but of admiration. "She looks amazing. She's glowing. I could never pull that off." But Emily wasn't done yet. That afternoon, in art class, she stood up during a group critique. It was rare for her to speak in front of the whole room, but her voice was steady. "I know some of you think it's funny to hurt someone for laughs," she said, looking directly at Kayla and her friends. "But real strength isn't about tearing people down. It's about building yourself up, and helping others do the same." Silence. She held up a small piece of paper. It was a flyer for a charity hair drive that made wigs for cancer patients. "If anyone wants to turn a bad moment into something good, I'll be there tomorrow after school, donating what's left of my hair. You can join me, or you can keep hiding behind your phones." The next day, the unexpected happened. Kayla, Brianna, and Sasha showed up. No makeup, no smug smiles, just nervous glances and fidgeting hands. They didn't speak much at first, but when the scissors snipped through Kayla's first lock, she whispered, "I'm sorry." By the end of the event, they had donated more than 2 pounds of hair between them. The local news covered the story. The video went viral online, not as bullies cutting a girl's hair, but as a quiet girl turning cruelty into kindness. Emily didn't forgive them instantly. But over the weeks, she saw they were trying. They stopped picking on others. They volunteered at the next charity event. And Emily? She realized something important. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it walks quietly into a room, with a new haircut, a straight back, and the courage to turn pain into power. In the end, the bullies didn't just beg for forgiveness because they felt guilty. They begged because they saw in Emily something they didn't have yet, and wanted to learn from. And Emily, the quiet girl no one noticed, became the loudest example of how to rise above. If you saw Emily Johnson in the hallways of Ridgewood High, you'd probably pass her without a second glance. She wasn't the loud one, the popular one, or the troublemaker. She was the quiet one. The girl who sat near the back of the class, scribbling in her notebook, her long hair often falling like a curtain to hide her face. To most people, Emily was invisible. But to Kayla, Brianna, and Sasha, the self-proclaimed queens of Ridgewood High, she was an easy target. The day it happened. It was Tuesday. The cold kind of Tuesday where the morning frost clung stubbornly to car windows and the sky was a dull, unwelcoming gray. Emily had already been having a rough week, a low grade in chemistry, a fight with her mom about staying up too late drawing, and the usual background noise of whispers and giggles whenever she walked past certain people. By fourth period math, she just wanted the day to be over. She sat in her usual spot, pulling her hair forward over her shoulders. Behind her, Kayla leaned forward. Her hair's so long, imagine if it wasn't, she whispered, stifling a laugh. Brianna smirked. You won't. Kayla pulled a pair of silver scissors from her pencil pouch, the kind used for crafts. Watch me. Emily didn't even feel the first tug. But she heard it, the sharp snip. A heavy lock of hair slid down onto her desk. She froze. Her fingers trembled as they reached back to where her hair had once been even and smooth, now it was jagged, uneven, ruined. Gasps filled the room. Then laughter. Oh my God, look at it. She looks like a scarecrow. Brianna's voice was loud enough for the whole class to hear. Phones were out instantly. Snapchats. TikToks. Filters. Emily's face burned. The teacher was gone for barely 2 minutes, but it felt like hours. When he returned, he scolded the group, sent Kayla to the office, but it was just a slap on the wrist. The rest of the day, Emily didn't speak to anyone. She walked home with her hood up, eyes fixed on the sidewalk. The breaking point. That night, she locked herself in the bathroom. The mirror reflected someone she barely recognized, someone broken. She touched the uneven strands and felt her throat tighten. She thought about cutting the rest off, thought about skipping school, thought about how small they had made her feel. Then her phone buzzed. It was Mia, her older cousin. Mia had always been Emily's role model, bold, fearless, unapologetically herself. When Emily explained what happened, Mia's voice sharpened. They think they broke you? Emily, they just handed you the chance to own who you are. Meet me tomorrow morning. The transformation. Mia was waiting with her hairstyling kit. She didn't just trim Emily's hair, she shaped it. The jagged mess became a sleek pixie cut that framed Emily's face, highlighting her eyes. This isn't just a haircut, Mia said, adjusting the last strand. This is your armor. Emily didn't fully believe her, until she walked into school. Whispers followed her, but they were different this time. She looks so good. That haircut is fire. I didn't even know she had green eyes. Even Kayla and her friends stared, their smirks replaced by something else, uncertainty. The turning point. That afternoon, in art class, Emily did something she had never done before. She raised her hand during a critique. "I have something to say," she began, her voice steady but strong. She turned slightly, making sure Kayla, Brianna, and Sasha could see her. Some people think it's funny to hurt others because it makes them feel powerful. But here's the thing, you can't break someone who decides not to stay broken. She pulled out a small flyer. "Tomorrow, I'm donating my hair to make wigs for cancer patients. If anyone wants to turn a bad act into something good, you're welcome to join me." The room was silent. Even the teacher's eyes glistened. 24 hours later. The next day, Emily sat in the community center, ready for the hair drive. She didn't expect much. But then, they walked in. Kayla. Brianna. Sasha. No perfect makeup. No smugness. Just quiet, nervous steps. Kayla sat down in the chair next to Emily. I'm sorry. What we did was horrible. We didn't think, we were just being stupid. Emily didn't say anything at first. She just nodded toward the scissors. One by one, their long, styled hair fell away, bundled into donations. By the end, they had given more than 2 pounds of hair. The viral moment. Someone filmed the event. The video went viral, millions of views in days. Headlines called Emily the girl who turned cruelty into kindness. But for Emily, the real victory wasn't the internet fame. It was walking through the halls of Ridgewood High knowing that she had changed the story. She wasn't invisible anymore, not because of pity, but because she had shown strength when it mattered most. And the bullies? They didn't just stop targeting her. They started helping others. Emily learned something in those 24 hours. Strength isn't loud. Sometimes, it's a quiet girl walking into school with her head held high, and showing everyone that nothing, not even a cruel pair of scissors, can define who she is.